computer, and we will go live over here on Facebook.
132, 133, 134, 135, 136.
What are you doing?
I'm exercising my right to exercise so that I can get pumped up for our conversation. Let's go, Gayle Zintek. Welcome back.
Oh man, it is great to be back to feeling energetic and awesome. Let me just tell you.
I mean, what else is any different than who you usually are, right?
Well, I was quite different for a number of days going through the last 3.5 weeks. So,
Well, welcome to episode 21. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Party at the Summit. This is exciting. And I do feel the energy. I feel the enthusiasm radiating through my monitor and through your microphone.
Woo. Yes.
Woo, raise the roof. It is the holiday season is here. So let's give the gift of moving through some of the pain, some of the fear, some of the worry that you're experiencing in your life. And if the title of this episode doesn't give it away, then let's get a little deeper.
Yeah, gratitude reciprocates.
So you just, Gayle, you just mentioned that you're feeling so much more energized. You're feeling more like yourself. You're feeling rejuvenated. I don't think that's the word you use, but that's the one I'm putting in your mouth right now. What does that mean to you right now? And where were you and where are you now? And how has that made a difference?
Well, October 18th, I started to feel a little not great. A few days later, it just kept getting worse. October 23rd.
That's your 1 month anniversary then.
Yes.
Today's the 18th. Yeah. 1 month anniversary.
So on the 23rd, took a COVID test. It came back positive for both my husband and myself. The 24th, the next day, we were leaving in our motorhome to travel from Michigan to Arizona. That 7 days is like a fog in my mind. It's just, I don't remember much of it except for sleeping a lot and trying to go out for walks and then feeling the fatigue and then arriving here November 1st in Surprise, Arizona. That was 18 days ago. And I stayed inside still for the first week and a half and didn't have a lot of energy to go out and explore and get around, except for to go to the pool and get that natural vitamin D. And, through the process, I had a lot of fear. I had a lot of anxiety for myself. My family was fearful for me because I just wasn't doing well. I had an online doctor visit with a doctor out of Ohio. She prescribed some antibiotics for me. And that was when we arrived here, like 2 days later. Last week, it was a week ago today. I was just looking on November 10th. I checked myself into the ER to just get checked out. I wasn't breathing well. I wasn't moving. I was just very uncomfortable. And I thought, man, we have a fear sometimes of what we don't know. And so I sought out the medical attention to help me get over that hump. Again, wonderful care, and had the chest x-rays, no blood clots, because that was, kind of that's what you hear. And that was a fear. And so looking back now over the last 30 days, I have such a sense of gratitude for coming through this virus here's what I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for everybody that reached out and knew what was going on and checked on me every day. Hey, just checking in. How you doing today? Oh, and the outpouring of love, prayers, and everything that went around with that get you through. Because sometimes we all need that when we don't have the strength to get through something ourselves within our own ability. We rely on the strength of others. And that's why our environment and the people that we associate with is so important. Because imagine if I had people in my life that were on the negative end of just always going down the negative rabbit holes, then I don't know if I would have pulled through, but they were just always pulling me up through the low parts of the healing process. And today I jogged on my 2-mile walk. I made a 16-minute mile and I was making 25-minute quarter miles. Like this was a victorious day for me. And I'm just
palm trees swaying behind you. You're like whipping past palm trees. Like
I am filled, like my heart, like Steve, I woke up this morning and I was pondering gratitude, and I did a live this morning and I talked about you because let's bring it back full circle. You have, in the 2 years that I've known you, exuded nothing but enthusiasm, positivity, joy for life, gratefulness. With your family, I've observed you in person. I've observed you with individuals. You care for people like no one else has ever cared for people that I've been around. The congruency you have in your life and how you live your life. And I remember you the first time you say, I wake up every day and I'm like, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I thought, how does Kathy feel about that? But so like, let's pull it back and tell us how you have gained this attitude of gratitude and how that's pulled you through to how you live your life today.
Well, thank you for the kind words and for observing and for illustrating that, because it's many people look at that and say like, God, that seems so easy for Steve. It's not always so easy. It takes practice. It takes intention. It takes being present in the moment. I will get back to that, but I wrote down one word when you were talking, and the word was hindsight. You had said that looking back at what you experienced through the COVID and through this virus and what the sleepy days and the fatigue and the exhaustion, you look back and said, wow, I'm really grateful. I want people to realize this. I want this to be very practical for people listening. What does hindsight mean? Hindsight means that when an event or a situation that's usually less than ideal, you get through the experience. And in hindsight, wow, I really took away a lesson from what I experienced after the fact. What if we chose, and this has much to do with what we're discussing here and really correlates to how I've chosen to live my life, is I no longer chose to wait for an experience to get through the experience to be appreciative and grateful for it. I chose to find the gratitude and appreciation and the lesson while being present in the moment. And if you can be present in the moment, even when it feels like the storm is hitting you left, right, front, up, down, sideways, backwards, and you still can slow things down and say, what is the lesson I am to learn here? This is happening for me right now. It's not happening to me. I lived much of my life where everything was happening to me. I was playing the role of the victim. Why did they say this? What are they going to say when I do that? But when I can really slow down and say, all right, I'm grateful in this moment. And it's not even for like the big things. It's not because of the home or the car or even my family. I'm grateful for those every day. But I'm grateful for the ability that I can choose my thoughts. I'm grateful that I can be present when many people are scattered. So it comes to really living the day in the moments. And I'm very grateful for that. So I suppose that sort of answers the question and sort of ties into what you were discussing in hindsight to what you just experienced. Think about an experience that you have right now when you're listening to this or you're watching this. And you're like, gosh, this is the worst thing that could possibly happen to me. I never thought in my wildest dreams that I'd be going through a divorce, or I lose that friend that I've been friends with for 30 years, or I lost my dream job. But the hardest things that happen to us and what seems like it's the most distraught end up being the greatest lessons in our life. If you can observe the lessons. We have wins and we have losses. We can identify the wins. We celebrate the wins. We feel great. Our dopamine's high. We're like, all right, life is great. I'm awesome. My confidence is elevated. But when we quantify the losses and we say, gosh, man, I just really bombed on that. Like, man, what a loser I am. You can say that to yourself, but does that help the situation? Does that help anybody? No, it doesn't. So if you can take those losses and then find and extract the lesson from it, it becomes a win. And to find that lesson, you must be grateful. You have to embrace gratification to find those lessons, because that's when you know life is happening for you, not happening to you. So we're talking about this topic because honestly, we talk about gratitude. Gayle, you and I talk about gratitude almost daily. Just, we'll even shoot each other a message, say, hey, what are you grateful for today? Hey, what are you excited about today? What are you enthusiastic about today? And those are great questions, because there's 6 words that I talk about and I coach to, and they're very impactful. They're very powerful. People don't even realize it until even when they hear it, they don't even realize it, but till they actually put it in practical application. But those 6 words are, you are where your attention is. So there's a distinction to where you choose your attention to be. And no one has control or the power to place your attention anywhere except for you. So we are where our attention is. So I talk to people every day. There's people that seek out my counsel. They seek out advice, recommendations, to have conversations. Hey, I need some uplifting. I need some positive spirit. And I'm all for that. I think that's great that people have that comfort to reach out to me. But we're bringing this up because people truly believe, and I hear it almost every day, is that no matter what they do, nothing's going to change for them. Regardless of whatever they do, they can do all the things that they need to do, but nothing in their life is going to change because that's just the way it is. That goes back to learned helplessness. And we talked about that in an episode, discussing, learned helplessness. And it's a broken model. It's a broken thought. How often, if you really think about this, Gayle, and for those that are listening, how often have you felt like you're not good enough? How often have you felt like people are going to reject you? They're going to judge you. These are 2 of the biggest fears that people experience day in, day out. Most people have these 2 fears. I'm not good enough, which is inadequacy, and people aren't going to like me. They're going to judge me. They're going to reject me. And that is a sense of abandonment. That comes from a place of scarcity. That comes from a place of fear, rejection. So if we're talking about distinctions in where we put our attention, are you focused on, or are your decisions based on fear, or are they based on abundance? Are they based on worry, or are they based on appreciation and gratitude? So
when you have those thoughts, because I raise my hand, I have those feelings. Here's the distinction of that. I don't allow them to linger, because the thought that comes in creates the feeling inside, and I have control over how I allow that to carry on. So,
and if you choose not to let them linger, then that will not define you.
mm-hmm.
Because what happens is we allow an external thought from somebody or a group of people determine or define who we are going to be. And there's nothing grateful about that.
Mm-mm.
Gratitude is the antidote for most pain, fear, and worry in our life. if you're experiencing pain, if you're experiencing fear of inadequacy, or experiencing pain or fear of abandonment, where people are going to reject you or they're going to judge you, then immediately choose to move your pattern of focus into what am I grateful for right now?
Steve, can I share what I had a prompting to just take a snapshot of this, of what Michelle shared in our group?
Oh yeah, please do. That's phenomenal.
So Michelle is a friend of ours in our TM90 group, and she posted this just a couple days ago and says, a few years ago, the magazine Psychology Today referenced a study from the National Institute of Health that reported that the subjects who showed more gratitude overall had higher levels of activity in the hypothalamus, which is the part of the brain that controls your bodily functions. It goes on to say that expressing gratitude caused subjects to experience an increase in dopamine hits, the reward neurotransmitter that makes the brain happy. Essentially, the brain keeps telling you to do it again. Once you start seeing things to be grateful for, your brain starts looking for more things to be grateful for, and the cycle continues. It's a choice. And then she goes on to illustrate 7 benefits of those who make gratitude a practice. And those are: gratitude opens the door to more relationships. Gratitude improves physical health. Gratitude improves psychological health. Gratitude enhances empathy and reduces aggression. That one hit me, because empathy versus aggression. I don't know about you, but in the world of business, we have clients, we have customers that sometimes they get a little aggressive instead of empathetic. And you can see how that dictates that transaction. So people sleep better. Grateful people sleep better. I had a really great night's sleep last night. I don't know about you.
I did, until my son came into our room at like 11:30 saying his stomach hurt.
Aww.
But I think it was just a ploy to spend closer quality time with mom and dad.
Yeah. And
come to find out, in hindsight.
But were you not grateful for that closeness?
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. I said, instead of saying, Joe, get back to your room, it's, you're fine, blah, blah. I said, Joe, come here. Just, come here. There's something that you need, that you're desiring. Maybe you're using the stomach issue as a way to express what you need. And I said, just come lay next to me. And so we just laid there for a few minutes, and I think I just fell asleep.
Yeah. Some of my most grateful times are remembering when all 3 of our children would crawl into bed with us sometime during the night. That and just the closeness, the family closeness. So gratitude improves self-esteem. Gratitude increases mental strength. And grateful for the so then she says she was grateful for this opportunity to share some things that has helped transformed her life and so many others. You cannot have an attitude when you're focused on gratitude. Just think about that. You get an attitude about something and then you find the gratitude in that. Are you still having an attitude? You can't have an attitude when you're focused on gratitude.
Yeah, you can't have angered thoughts when you have grateful thoughts. You can't have frustrated thoughts when you have thoughts of appreciation. So there's a dichotomy to it. And I'm going to sum what you just said up here, because I've had a chance to read that over, because it was a very generous post that she posted in our group. But think about this: what you feed and what you give your energy to simply expands.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the 2 wolves. Which wolf's going to win? It's the one that you're going to feed.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the angry wolf, or is the wolf that's compassionate and joyful and happy and grateful?
I like what you said before about it's not always easy. It takes practice, because I'm thinking of the people right now who have a hard time maybe of switching from that place of frustration and aggravation to gratitude, appreciation, and abundance. it's hard for them to switch because they feel justified in their negative space, like things that have happened to them, and it's hard for that. They stay there instead of coming out. And it takes practice. And what do we say about practice, Steve? It's not for
Well,
perfection, it's for progress.
progression. I mean, progression or excellence,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And I'd mentioned learned helplessness earlier, and it could almost be like a harmonious hybrid of learned helplessness and blissful dissatisfaction. When you really sit back, and we talked about blissful dissatisfaction also in our podcast episodes. I can't recall which one it is, but we can go back and find it. Here's what I tell people. Most people, they look at their life, and people are going to say, most people are going to say, this is where I am. I don't like where I am, but that over there is where I want to be, which is someplace else. And the space that's in between where they are and where they think they want to be, or where they should be, for many people is unhappiness. Meaning, I'll be happy when.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be happy when I get to the place I think I should be. Over there, I'm not there right now, but when I'm there, then I'll start producing happiness. Happiness is an inside game. Happiness and gratitude have a direct correlation. So it goes to the whole point, and the reason why we're bringing this up is choose gratitude. And people are they're going to say, well, how do I get out of it? How do I find gratitude? How do I become happy? And I laugh at that. The way to be happy is to simply be happy. Find the lesson, find what you're grateful for in this. Well, there's nothing to be grateful for. If you say so,
Mm-hmm.
you are where your attention is. How is it that two people can experience the same exact thing? Such as, let's use the example I used from last night. Your child walks into your room, regardless of the situation. Maybe they say, there's a thunderstorm out. Or I saw a monster in my closet. Two people, two different sets of parents, or maybe it's just two parents, experience the same thing. One shows compassion and says, okay, well, hey, what's happening? How can I help you? How can I serve you? Like, what's on your mind? Let's talk about, hey, come lay down with me. Let's calm you down a little bit. And another parent's like, get back to your room. Leave me alone. I'm trying to sleep. We've heard the stories. They're patterns of focus, which coincidentally, we're talking about this coming week on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Which patterns, which thoughts and emotions, which run your life? Are you focused on what's missing in your life, or are you focused on what you're grateful for? You look at the outcome of your life, you'll find the answer more often than not. So, excelente. Gratitude is the gateway.
It is. It's a gateway to living a life fulfilled and happy and joyful and with a smile.
And when I say it takes practice, I mean it really takes practice. It takes you being present. It might take you taking sticky notes and just putting them up in different places in your home, on your bathroom mirror, in your car windshield, at your breakfast table, in wherever it is. And it just says, what are you grateful for in this moment? So it's a constant residual reminder. Repetition is the mother of all learning. Repetition, repetition, repetition. I bookend my days with gratitude. If you want to know what I do for gratitude and how I practice it, I bookend my days with gratitude. I wake up in the morning and I express what I'm grateful for. Maybe it's not verbally, because if I was like yelling it, my wife would probably kick me out and she wouldn't let me come back into the bedroom. But I can silently have these thoughts that generate the feeling of what I'm grateful for. What do I appreciate? What am I excited about for the morning? It's a given. It's locked in. It is a habit. I wake up in the morning, that before my feet hit the floor, I'm expressing my gratitude to the opportunities I have in front of me for the day. When I go to bed at night, I've told this story. My kids are getting a little bit older now, but it wasn't too long ago, I'd ask them a series of questions before they went to bed at night. And there was 4 questions. It used to be 3 questions, and I added a 4th question. The 3 questions were this: what are you grateful for? Since we're talking about gratitude, like, hey, what are you grateful for? So they would, kind of look over the landscape of their day. What are they looking forward to? Or what they were grateful for. I asked them what they learned today. So they can look over and say, what did I learn? The 3rd question is, what are you looking forward to tomorrow? It already gets their mind thinking about what they're going to appreciate the next day. So when they wake up in the morning and through their time and opportunity of dreaming, they're thinking about, over time, they're thinking like, what am I looking forward to? And then the 4th question I asked, because they were getting a little bit older, and I believe that failure is part of success, is I ask them, hey, what did you fail at today? What did you attempt today that didn't go the way you planned it to go? And so it gives them permission to be like, all right, hey, I'm going to go try something I've never tried before, fall flat on my face, and then get up, dust myself back off, and go after it again. So I bookend my days with gratitude. It serves me. It could serve you. That might be a great start. That's 2 opportunities in every given day. They say, hey, here's my gratitude. I bookend it. And then you can plug in the middle of the day. Just stop the busy day, stop the distractions, and be like, take a deep breath. What am I grateful for? Or when you have a feeling that's not serving you, you're feeling worried, you're feeling anger, you're having a thought of frustration, move your attention to, what am I grateful for?
As we were getting ready to do this podcast, I knew I wanted to do it outside, and there was leaf blowers going, the jets were flying over, there's noise. And I'm thinking, I had that like, okay, how am I going to handle this? And I'm just like, well, I guess I'm really grateful that I'm in a climate where there can be people out leaf blowing and the fighter pilots are out practicing, and I'm grateful for their practice, because man, it just, the sound of those engines is power. And so I had a choice. I could think down that negative line of, man, why they got a leaf blow when it's podcast time? Or grateful that these are the sounds I get to hear in November of 2021. I'm super grateful in this moment for this opportunity to be with you, Steve, on this podcast, talking about gratitude and leading people into a practice that can help unlock their life in just that one small tweak.
Yeah. Most people are just one habit away from unlocking the quality of life that they truly want. And perhaps it just might be gratitude, just simply, but it sounds so easy, Gayle, like just express more. Yeah. Just express more gratitude. But don't just express it. Don't just like, you have to believe it and feel it, and know that the gratitude that you put out there is going to be reciprocated back to you in some form.
We talk rules for life in the TM90, and we had a discussion, and I said last week, I said, I haven't been obeying the rules I set for myself too well as I'm healing. And like, one of my rules is to smile at everybody I make eye contact with. And my reasoning, or my decision, I decided not to make eye contact with people because I didn't feel like smiling every day. And, you will go through days like that, and it's okay. But you know what? Today and tomorrow and the next day, I'm looking forward to people that pass my path, that make eye contact with me, that I can wave and smile and put out my positive energy into them for just a moment. And then, you know what? 9 times out of 10, what do you think I do? I receive it right back, because they smile and wave at me. So maybe it's just going out today, smiling and waving at somebody that you don't know, that you can make their day a little bit brighter.
And if you find yourself not in the state of gratitude that you know you should be or you could be, that's just you pulling back that slingshot, like just, and then once you make that real decision and take immediate action on just expressing gratitude, just, there it goes. Never looking back. Your setbacks are never greater than your comebacks. And that goes with gratitude as well.
I have heard so many golden nuggets from you today, Steve. I'm going to have to watch this.
Welcome to the replay.
Check that one. Check that one.
I'll create some show notes. Whatever I missed in the show notes, we'll catch up on it.
Oh, well, thank you for joining us. We are 1 week away from Thanksgiving, where most people are gathering together with family and friends, and some may not be able to be that. I am extremely excited, looking forward to the opportunity for my daughter and her husband and 3 kids and an exchange student coming to Phoenix, driving the motorhome to my mom's house in California, spending the holiday with my mom and my family, and just those thoughts, and thinking about my other children, my son, my 4 grandchildren in Jackson, my son and daughter-in-law, and their 2 children that are going to be going and spending time in Florida for Thanksgiving. My heart is full of the love and friendships that I have created and established all over the world. Those of you out there that are watching this, know that I adore and appreciate your presence in my life, and I am extremely grateful for this opportunity to express that to you. And I hope you have a Thanksgiving and holiday season that brings so much gratefulness and gratitude, appreciation, and abundance right back into your life.
Amen. Those sentiments right back to you, Gayle. Thank you for being the queen of inspired possibilities, the commander of inspired possibilities.
It's a practice.
Every day.
Every day.
All right. Well, enjoy the week ahead. Make it a week worth repeating. If you're ready to go, say let's go and let's get after it. Appreciate you, friends.